Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Hearthstone. I did say that there will be a hiatus for Hearthstone for a while, but because at the time of me recording this video there's an update for Master Duel, I will be hopping back onto Hearthstone for a bit. This was a deck that already existed before catapulted into what it is now, but because of Ysera, the Emerald aspect, we got a little bit more mana crystals to work with compared to the 10 that we would usually cap at. And from all of the people who have played and mastered this deck, the mana crystals that she provides is surprisingly helpful and impactful, that basically catapult this deck to the status that it is right now, which is, well, it's one of the better, if not the best, Druid scam deck right now. There are other ways to play Druid in Wild right now, and a lot of them are either Reno or combo. There is literally no in between, so scam is my way to go. And because it is big and dumb, as you can see here, it's a really cheap deck. You don't need to worry too much about your wallet here. In game plan, just get an Astral Communion as fast as possible. I will show you guys in the games later that when you're mulliganing, if you don't have Astral Communion, just throw your whole hand away and hope you draw it. And if you do draw it, then good on you. But if you don't draw it and just hope and pray that you have one of the 5 ways to get it in your hand. So that is the entire game plan of this deck. Get to more than 10 mana on turn 3 to 4 preferably, and any later you're probably already dead. And then the part 2 of that plan, just slam down fatty after fatty after fatty and hope you win from there. So I would go over the card by card, but it's only really divided into 2 segments: the cards that search Astral Communion and the cards that hopefully let you finish the game. So we're gonna go over the searchers first. We have Aquatic Form first. This card has been a staple in Druid ever since its printing in like right here, Voyage in the Sunken City. This is your way to hopefully try and find Astral Communion from the bottom of your deck, so no two ways about that. Then we have Bottomless Toy Chest. Now, I have seen builds that have Reforestation in this card's slot instead, and I can see arguments actually for both, because Reforestation just draws the card immediately, but Bottomless Toy Chest discovers. Now, 2 mana draw ones are, well, a little slow and somewhat bad, but I'm a Magic the Gathering player. 2 mana draw 1, I'll take that any day. But for Bottomless Toy Chest in particular, why this card over Reforestation? It's because you get to pick from a selection of 3, so that is more chances to hopefully hit the Astral Communion rather than Reforestation just drawing straight up 1 card. Bottomless Toy Chest gives you selection. This is why this is in the deck over Reforestation. Next we have Invigorate. You either ramp into the Astral Communion if this is in your hand plus Astral Communion. Otherwise, you just use this to draw a card. You never ramp with this, you just draw cards with it. Then we have Moonlit Guidance. Again, I will keep saying this is a cracked-ass card. I don't know why this was never nerfed. But if you do indeed find your Astral Communion with it, then good on you there. Then the other 2 more expensive ways to quote-unquote search for the Astral Communion. This was recently nerfed at the time of me recording this video. This used to be 4 mana. Now it's at 5. The draw that this thing gives can be useful, especially if you've already slammed this down and then you play Astral Communion next turn. But it was a lot better if it were at 4 mana, because you can just skip a step or 2 once you play your Astral Communion. But being at 5, you're not as embarrassed to throw this away. Then of course, Wild Heart Guff. This gives you even more mana to work with, and what more can I say? This card is cracked. Then we move on to our finishers. Now, once you've found your Astral Communion with any of your quote-unquote search spells, their purpose after that becomes to look for as many of these fatties as possible and put them into your hand, and hopefully you kill your opponent. The first of these fatties, and sorry Guff, not Guff, no, ETC that I have to call you fatty, but that's just a colloquial term. Don't worry too much about it. We have ETC. Now, he is one of the more strange cards in this deck because he's not really here for him. We're here for his ability to bring in 3 other people. So this is really a 33 card deck more than anything else, and it contains a bunch of quote-unquote sideboard options depending on the matchup. Tight Lip Witness, from my personal experience, the one of the worst matchups that you could come up against is Mage. So shutting down their secrets is a really good way to either slow them down or give them long enough for you to kill them. Then we have Alexstrasza, the Life Binder in particular, not the one that changes your opponent's health from whatever it is down to 15. This Alexstrasza in particular is more slanted towards the aggro matchups. You either heal, which is what you would usually use it for, or if you're somewhat ahead, you can use Alexstrasza here to deal a chunky amount of damage to any one particular minion that is giving you problems. It also doesn't help that Alex here, at least this version of her, is a 9 mana 8/8, so very easy to put her down on the field, especially if you have like cast Astral Communion already, and then you draw into ETC, then you get either Alex or any other big minion in your deck. She's mostly here only for the aggressive matchups. Then the janktastic choice in this deck is King Togwaggle. Oh boy. It's no secret that I am a big fan of Boogerworm, and this is his favorite card of all time, and I can definitely see why. He's really only here for his synergy with Azalina's Soul Thief. This used to be a menace back in the day, these two. They were partners in crime. But what King Togwaggle did was it swapped your opponent with your deck, and then you swap the entire hand with Azalina's Soul Thief right here. Now, she used to say that you quite literally take your opponent's hand, but she has been nerfed and has not been reverted since. 7 mana draw however many cards your opponent has basically can sometimes help, especially if you top deck her and you don't really have anything else going on. Just copying your opponent's hand will hopefully get you there, and she has saved me on multiple occasions. Now, in her slot, just before I got her, I actually had someone else, and it was Madden the Manager. He could also actually work in this deck, but he is a lot more expensive than he seems because he's not really 7 mana. No, he is 10 mana because of his Fantastic Treasures, because they all cost 3 mana. So the one that you usually go for is always Zarog's Crown. Wondrous Wand is still in a nerf state, so it's not really that useful at the moment, but if you really need the draw, then Wondrous Wand it is. But more often than not, you're basically playing him for Zarog's Wand. You can choose to run Mana in the Manager instead, but in all of the conversations I've had in Boogerworm's Discord, Azalina Soul Thief is the way to go at the 7 mana slot. Going right along to the Death Beetle. It's I guess the only reason why this guy is even in here is because you can get to 11 mana very easily with this deck, and then this guy just slams for 10 every time. And it's also a charge minion that has Taunt for some weird reason, so it's an insanely powerful minion, and it will give your opponent at least a bit of time to pause, and rather than hit your face, they would hit this guy instead, because your opponent will die in 3 turns if they don't answer this. So definitely a good choice there. Then we have Hearthstone Brew. This seems questionable at first, but if he is your only card in hand, then it's basically a draw 8 to 9, if I remember correctly, because I don't actually remember the number of cards that are in your hand depending on the class that he randomizes for you, but it's usually a draw 8 to 9, and it's usually more than enough to give you a bit of board presence once you slam him down onto the Hearthstone board. Next, we have Azalina Soul Thief, as I already mentioned with the segment with King Togwaggle. These are partners in crime, but you can also just use her for, you know, copying your opponent's hand, so it can help. Possibly the most questionable choice in this deck, John Hearthstone himself, as most people call him, but I can see the logic why, because if you roll, quote-unquote, roll well, you can have 5 other minions on board that alongside this guy, and they're all decently statted, and given how high, at least at the time of me recording this video, given how high the power level of Standard is right now, there aren't exactly a lot of bad hits for the Avatar of Hearthstone here. And usually, at least in my experience, I'm given either a weapon or a spell is cast that gives my hero a chance to attack. So there aren't any bad choices for the Avatar of Hearthstone right now, but once the standard pool does get significantly weaker, John Hearthstone here also gets worse as well. So you can opt to cut him once the time comes, but there will always be legendaries in this game that are going to want to try and fit into this deck, and again, you can choose to cut John Hearthstone for, let's say, Madden the Manager instead, but He is really damn good. Next, we have Yogg-Saron the Unleashed, another chaotic ass choice in this deck, but I can definitely see why, because if he is already top deck and it's pretty early in the game and your opponent hasn't really done anything, filling your hand with 10 tentacles is can sometimes be game changing. So there is that. But you're mostly using him for Reign of Chaos or Induce Insanity. So he's either a board wipe or board control. So there is that. And also, if you manage to use all three of his abilities, you get to be treated to one of the cheesiest attack lines you will ever have in this game. And he has been known to monologue before he strikes. And true, I have done that. And I have had multiple games where I was going to attack with Yogg-Saron Unleashed, and then I literally just hold it in because he was giving a goddamn monologue, and I will respect that, goddammit. Moving right along to Ysera Emerald Aspect, this is the card that made this deck far more powerful than it already is because of the additional mana that she gives. Ysera didn't exist, this version of Ysera didn't exist, then this entire strategy wouldn't even be plausible. I mean, it's still plausible, but you'll only be playing one card per turn. Ysera makes it so that you can play 2 cards per turn, so definitely amazing there. But the worst part about this Ysera is she is the worst top deck you can have. Granted, she does give you mana when she comes down, but ultimately, you would not want to top deck her, especially after you've already used your Astral Communion. Then moving right along to Ziliax 3000. Yep, I have him in the deck, as I said in my warrior video, in my last video, which is a standard warrior deck. Can't not have this guy. He is way too good. This is the most nerfed Hearthstone card. Why did I say StarCraft? This is the most Hearthstone card in the game ever now, and because it's just multiple cards in one, and they've had to change a lot, and I mean a lot, about his modules. And oh boy, not having him in the deck will be a crime and a half. And it's usually the twin module and perfect module that is used for decks like this, or you if you're a go wide strategy, you can even have stuff like ticking module and something that doubles his attack, like power module right here. But that's more for the more aggressive matchups. But otherwise, yeah, he can literally be whatever you need him to be for your deck, and he will always somehow work. Next, we have Deathwing, one of the big bads in World of Warcraft. And once a noble dragon known as Neltharion, Deathwing lost his mind and shattered Azeroth before finally being defeated. Daddy issues? Yeah, most likely. This is a board wipe, and he is a risky board wipe at that because he discards your hand as well. There is also another version of him. Nearly does the same thing, but he discards for every minion that is destroyed. But I believe that version of Deathwing is a lot more expensive mana-wise. I believe he's at 12 mana, if I remember correctly. So this is the slightly more reliable version of him. Next, we have Eonard Lifebinder. I mean, where would you not be without Eonard? You're usually using her either to draw 10 cards or to restore your health. The last one is mostly only used if you are ahead. Next, we have Forest Lord Cenarius. This is him becoming basically an avatar or something close to a god at this point. You're usually using him to give your board a huge buff. A +9 to their health is insane. But if push comes to shove, you can just summon 3 5/5s and have like 20 power worth of minions on board. So there is that. Next, we have Neptulon the Tidehunter. I had this in my Scam Shaman deck. He's just a really good way to clean out a bunch of lower health minions, although this is like 8 damage every swing. So your opponent will have to respond to this guy, or else they will be taking 16 to the face. Then we have Raid Boss Onyxia. This took me a while to get. I could have just bought the mini set that she was in instead, but I just needed her, and then I could have just dusted everything else, but I just hard crafted Raid Boss Onyxia here. Usually board wipe duty alongside Deathwing here, which is the other well, literally another raid boss from World of Warcraft. What would usually happen is the board would have 6 whelps, and then I would just cherry pick whichever minion needs to die at that moment, and then I would use Onyxia to kill the biggest one. And then finally, the final minion in this deck, the one that replaced the Factory Worker bot, which is the Carrier, the only StarCraft card in this entire deck. The main difference as to why it's this over the Factory Worker, this guy poops out more minions than the other one does. Granted, the other one poops out a 6/7, but this one gets out 4 and that is 16 damage compared to the factory worker's 12. Because you play the factory worker, it gets a miniaturized version, and then you play that one as well, so that's 2 6/7s, and that is sometimes not enough to kill your opponent. And yeah, that is it. And I usually these days I would make the deck tech a separate thing over the actual gameplay, but games with this deck happen so fast and end so quickly that I'm just going to keep it in, because like I said, games are either really fast or really slow somehow. So without further ado, let's get into these games.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
We are in a Druid mirror, so let's see what kind of bullshit my opponent is going to be up to. So like I said in the deck tech, the mulligan strategy for this deck is as follows. So do you see Astral Communion in your opening hand? If you don't, throw your whole hand away and hope you draw it. Otherwise, hope you get any one of your draw spells and you end up with Astral Communion in your hand eventually. You will be discarding a lot of your key pieces most of the time, but there are so many of them in this deck that you don't really care. So let's see what kind of strategy my opponent is on, and nothing else happened, but they are only at 30 health, so that's already mildly concerning for me. So let's see what's at the bottom. Nothing yet, but we're gonna get bottomless toy chest for next turn, because we don't really need to copy anything yet with the Moonlight Guidance. So we're gonna see, and we're actually gonna greet my opponent there. Let's search and search and search. We are still not getting it. Jesus Christ. Who would I rather lose? I think I'd rather lose Yogg, sadly, because my opponent's not doing anything yet. But if they do somehow have a spell that puts a creature into play from hand, so it can be something that they can have. Druid's such a whack class sometimes. Oh dear God. So this is the fail rate of this deck. You have nothing but your fairies and nothing more. Oh boy. So either we lose this game really hard or we win really hard. There's really no in between to this deck. And yeah, you're seeing the biggest problem with this deck. If you don't get into Astral Communion, then you are a sitting duck. So just going to keep attacking, and I might actually just play ETC next turn just so that I have a body on board. So we're gonna see. I mean, my opponent, by the way, has not done anything at all. Okay, playing a coin, finally, a chocolate coin at that. So let's see what we get. Okay, playing Guff. That is mildly concerning. That means they are either a mill deck or they are something else entirely. Okay, fine. We'll play ETC here. Then I will sadly have to play Hearthstone Druid and replace the rest of my hand. Let's see. Who do I not care about here? I guess we just get Tight Lip Witness because we can. I care about the others in case I get a copy of another copy of ETC somehow. Then we're gonna do it that way. Okay, Oaken Summons. Who are they getting out? I forgot that this is a dual class card. Okay, that is an interesting choice, but it's a choice nonetheless. I guess we just use Hearth here, or do we still try to draw to the out? Oh god, yeah, I'm gonna use Hearth. I'm not gonna wait for the Astral Communion here. We're just gonna see what we draw. We got Secret Hunter, which is a decent choice. Sadly, we'll only be able to do it next turn, so we'll start with Cloak Huntress and then throw down every secret, then transform into Rexar here. We can't exactly make big minions out of this version of Rexar yet, because we don't exactly have a lot of mana, but we can throw down every secret under the sun here, so ooh, so opponent showing his hand here, or this could just be a generic like removal tool that they have. So there's that. Okay, cast a spell. You've got this turn. Sure. Watch me burn away my Astral Communion here after they make me overdraw. Thankfully, it's not. So now we get Cloak Huntress, so that all of our secrets now cost 0. Then we literally throw everything down. There we go. 5 secrets. Good luck. Have fun, opponent. Minion with Tauntless in the way. Fine. I'm just gaining armor then. So if he attacks, he is gonna get hurt so much. I am not ramping at all. So sad for a druid. But next turn, oh dear god, he's gonna grab my Anar. I mean, there's literally no other better target unless he also grabs Onyxia, but he can also grab Rexar, or for some godforsaken reason, he grabs a Spellstone here, but I don't think that's going to help him. Oh, okay. Interesting that he got Rexar. I guess he's preventing me from having more bodies on board. Because he likely saw either Eonar or Onyxia in my hand. Finally, we got Astral Communion. But is it really gonna help here? I guess it will, but we don't have a draw spell. I mean, Eonar could have been our draw spell, but oh well, better late than never. There you go. We're gonna get 10 mana crystals, and we'll actually have 18 mana. No, we do not. Alright, because of the limitations on mana cap and whatnot. I don't quite remember what it's called. So we only have 15 mana to work with, but it's more than enough, hopefully. We are down to 20 health because we had to get rid of that guy because it's a taunt minion that's in the way. And I have secrets to quote-unquote protect me anyway, so we're gonna see what my opponent does here. Okay, doing that. They cast a spell. I get a 4/2 Panther with stealth. Sure. I can very easily kill Theotar there. Okay, cool. Wild growth. Okay, they're still ramping. Are they gonna ramp even more? This is I think this is Mill Druid because no other deck uses the cards that my opponent is using right now. Okay, cool. They trigger the explosive trap. There you go. Then that will make me very easily kill what's this guy's name again? Archmage Vargoth now. Okay, cool. Okay, yep, trigger all of the secrets, and oh, okay then. He'll be able to replay Vargoth at least, so there's that. Okay, just ramping. Let's see what my opponent does, and triggering the last secret. There you go. Another random character instead, and it hits him. Oh, love it when that happens. Then we do this, then we swing it for this, and then we kill all other minions because Deathwing is here. Sorry that I spoke over him, but he was just saying I am power incarnate, which is a classic line from World of Warcraft. So let's see if my opponent has an answer to this. I mean, he probably has. He has naturalized, so he can make me draw 2 cards. Not that it's going to be dangerous for him anyway, so we're gonna see. Okay, draw a minion. If it has 5 more attack, give it plus 5 health and gain 5 armor. Sure. I don't know why you would do it that way, but okay. Gloomstone Guardian, which has been forged. So now it's a 6/8, sure. No idea what my opponent is on. Is this... Wait. Now that I think about it, is this the Sinferno Mildruid list? Now that I think about it. But we're not seeing anything out of that one just yet, so... We're gonna find out soon enough. So we get Guff down. What do we get for our 10 mana? We got Aquatic Form, so that's something. Next, we get the Death Beetle, because we literally have nothing else to do with our mana here. Then we get Death Beetle, then we swing into this, we'll remain at 4, then we ramp up, and then we draw a card. There we go. See, another Death Beetle. Alright, cool. We'll play Amir Dursil next turn, if it comes to that. We do need a bit of healing, but my opponent's on the clock now. We have 1 Death Beetle and then another coming their way if they don't answer it soon. Let's see what my opponent does here. Okay, they play Rexar, so interesting choice. They want to make minions, but they can make the bigger ones because, I mean, they have just as much mana as I do. Now it's just a race to see who dies first. Don't know what kind of minion they made just yet. Okay, they're zombies. Okay, cool. Rush and Poisonous. Good God. Nice choice there, opponent. So now we play Death Beetle. Then we play Amir Dursil. And then, one of the rare instances where Astral Communion can actually be used to restore your mana. Because we're capped at 20. There we go. Now we just hit straight in. There we go. Then we draw 1 card for Amir Dursil. Let's see what we get off the top. Moonlit Guidance is not nothing, which this will allow us to get additional copies of certain things. That is actually really goddamn nice. We'll sadly only have 3 of them, but it's usually more than enough to scare my opponent a little. And let's see if it hits the zombies, and it does. Alright, cool. Opponent takes 8, and now he has to answer everything on my board. Let's see what he does. Let's see. I mean, they are thinking about... Okay, Poison Seeds is not nothing, but that does fill up my board, so he may choose to not have any board wipes from here on out. Just leave the stuff that I have on board and then just clog up my hand with really big minions. Okay, that is an interesting choice. What does he have? He has Stealth. Oh, dear God, I can't hit him right away. Great. Yeah. Can't hit him right away, so... We do this, we do this, we do this, and we do this. And then, do we just draw one card? We only have 5 cards left in deck, so... we're not going to have too much left in the tank here. So we're just going to restore a bit of health. We're going to get Scenarios. Go back to 30, and... Well, what I can do is scare my opponent half to death. If you're not going to wipe my board, then I'm going to give my opponent some +1/+3. Impressive. Yeah, you probably have another board wipe in hand, so... This is me walking into you. Oh, no. But I have another carrier, so... This is bait, if there ever was one. There you go. So, you have 5/11s staring down at your face. Let's see what you do here. Okay, Strangleton Tiger and Life Drinker. Okay, sure. Let's see what you do, opponent. If you still have another board wipe. If you don't, then you just die. So we're gonna see. Okay, they're crafting another zombies. What is it? What is it? We're gonna find out soon enough what it is. Let's see. They're taking their time here. Now that we are both at the same mana total, so they're gonna need to pull something out, and they're gonna need to do it fast, or else they're gonna die. Or at least a taunt minion will solve a lot of their problems here, if it even is a taunt minion. So we're gonna see. Okay, Line Cracker. Oh, okay, it's Line Cracker Druid. Okay, no wonder. Can he kill me here? We will find out. Okay. So double. Okay, 80. Okay, Earthen Scales. Gain armor equal to its attack. Okay, he will survive now. He is only at 12 health though, so... okay, what is he going to make me draw into? Okay, 1 card left. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, where did my deck go? Okay, we have nothing left in the deck. Oh boy. So we have to kill the Line Cracker, unfortunately. And my opponent will very likely live long enough to kill me from here. So I'll just see you guys either at the next interesting point, but I'm not confident about my odds at all here. Opponent still has a respectable deck here, and he has 80 armor, so I may have just lost. So I'll just see you guys either at the next interesting point or at the next game.
Malfurion versus Arana.
Up against Demon Hunter, so there are only a few options for Demon Hunter at the moment, and I'm not happy about both of them. Well, we ended up with Astral Communion, so now it's a choice of, do we want to keep these in hand for them to be discarded by Astral Communion or not? I actually want to discard Yogg-Saron Unleashed, especially for this particular matchup, because it's usually really fast, but on the off chance that it isn't, I guess we're still gonna mulligan away. And let's just hope that the cards that I draw into are not as impactful. We may not even have time for Deathwing, so I think it's just as well. So let's see what kind of deck my opponent is on. If it is what I think it is, we'll find out soon enough. So we'll beat our opponent, then we do that, and then I am gonna sneeze, so excuse me for a second. Okay, my opponent used Illidari Studies there, but you usually use this first after you play your quest, so I don't know why they didn't play their quest first, but we're just gonna swing in for our 2 there, and let's see what our turn 3 holds. This is usually not seen in Pirate Demon Hunter, so this could be something else entirely, and we're gonna find out what it is soon enough. Although my opponent's name could be indicative of them being a bot, but it's not exactly a common name that is used by bots, so it could be something else entirely. So we're gonna find out, or we're actually gonna keep spamming greetings, and hopefully they greet back, if at all. But if not, then we're just going to assume that my opponent here is a bot. So we're gonna see what else they do here. I mean, they did just only play 1 card so far, so who's to say what they are? Let's see here. They are taking their sweet ass time, so They may... Okay. 3 mana. What do you have for 3 mana? Insect Claw? Okay, sure. So we're gonna get a Grub with Rush here. So, okay then. Fine, I guess. Planet of Earth. I mean, might as well get rid of this now. Because we'll be swinging for way more than that once our turn rolls around. So, and it's going to be 2 damage in our face anyway, so we might as well kill the Grub right then and there. Okay, now we'll be taking 3. It stings a little, but it's nothing too problematic. At least not yet. Okay, and opponent just lets that be, so... Okay, we're gonna Astral Communion it up, then we're gonna swing into my opponent's face. I could have taken out the Grub, but he's gonna have far more bigger problems once my turn rolls back around. So we're gonna see what my opponent holds. This could, okay. This is literally built like the quest deck in Standard, so this could literally just be it. I'll find out soon enough. What do we get for 15 mana? We got Onyxia! Oh boy. What I usually prefer to do is the ones in the outer part first, and then they use Onyxia herself last. So, we're swinging for our 1, but they will be taking 12, 8, 10, 12, 14. They could potentially take 16 damage if they don't respond to this. So, we're gonna find out soon enough. We're gonna try and greet again, see if they greet back. I just want them to greet back, goddammit. Prove that you're a human being, goddammit. Yeah, thinking about it. My creature is immune, good sir. You have to kill all the whelps first. So, if you manage to kill the whelps, then you will be swimming dandily here. Okay, cool. Tusk Piercer, sure. Summon pirates, sure. Then you attack. Then you summon even more pirates. That is fine. There we go. Then you will eliminate all of the whelps, and then you will kill Onyxia. There we go. There we go. Yep, there we go. 2 more pirates. Sure. Then what are you gonna do from there? Nothing. Alright, cool. Do I make more bodies? Yes. Yes, I will. Rather than make Onyxia bigger, we're gonna need more bodies. We're gonna need to go wide of this guy because a lot of the strategies that this type of deck does is they go wider than the opponent can handle. So we're gonna go wider rather than give Onyxia a buff. And she's the only creature on board anyway, so giving her +3, +9 isn't exactly going to be too helpful. So might as well go wide. And having taunt minions against an aggro deck is always really damn good. So we're just gonna do this, and we're gonna roast it until it burns. Then we're gonna refill the pie. There we go. Then we're gonna do this, and my opponent withdrew. So they conceded. Still have not proven that they were human or not. Oh well, we take wins like that around here. Let's move on to the next game.
Malfurion versus Meren.
Up against Rogue, and all he says is ah! This is definitely a keep. We have Astral Communion in hand, and we can mulligan away everything else. I know you can't do that because you don't have the mana. So we can play Astral Communion on turn 3 or even earlier because we have Invigorate. So we're gonna find out. And it's actually sometimes not good to play Invigorate on turn 1 for some weird reason, because you end up with slightly less mana for some weird reason. I don't know why. So it's better to just play this on curve. Then we just move along from there. One of the rare cases where you don't actually need to use the coin, but there we go. We can either wait for turn 2 or we just ramp on turn 1. So you guys can see what happens. So we sink that hammer. Then we use the coin here. I mean, we're literally not... We can literally just waste away a couple of things because we already have Communion in hand. So that is fine. Then we smash the anvil a little. We keep smashing it until we get the weapons that I want. There we go. This is the high level gear right here. So there we go. Let's see what my opponent does, if at all. There we go. That's the one I want. Okay, opponent's playing Garrote Rogue. So this is a combo deck. Let's see if I am faster than him. Aquatic form is not nothing. So there we go. We're still actually going to be able to play on turn 3, surprisingly. because they're just going on their turn 3, and I'm gonna go into my turn 3. So, okay, Cold Light Oracle, making me draw a few extra cards, and these are all really bad cards to discard, sadly. But we're gonna work with what's going to be given to us. I mean, we have a couple of redundant pieces anyway, so it's going to be fine for us. But if they manage to set up their combo first, then it's going to be a problem. A really, really big problem at that. So let's see what my opponent does, and yeah, we're gonna see, and if they even do anything from here. I mean, they can still make it work. Ooh, ETC, interesting. Whatever can they actually do here? They have no mana. I mean, sure, I'll take 2 damage, but we're gonna see what our draw is off the top. Like I said, let's see what our draw. Oh, hello. Oh dear God, I messed up the audio quality for a bit. I guess we get the carrier. There we go. And then we just hope and pray my opponent doesn't do anything about this. So there we go. That's potential 16 damage, but let's see what happens here. Okay. Managed to eat away at their board, and they only have their 2/2 left, so we may not need to put up any other creatures now, and we're just gonna make my opponent deal with everything else. So we're gonna find out how far they go from here, if at all. Otherwise, this game is just over. So we're gonna find out soon enough. Let's see. They're taking their sweet ass time though with their decision making. So we're gonna find out if they even have it in hand, or we just if they take way too long, we'll just skip to that point. So I think I'll do just that. Never mind, my opponent simply conceded instead. They made me wait for like not 2 minutes, no, because I keep forgetting that Hearthstone has a turn timer. Made me wait for 20 seconds, and then seeing that they can't exactly pull off the combo, they conceded from there. And we're actually gonna cut it off here. So yeah, you either win some or you lose some with this deck, and that's honestly the beauty of it. You don't need to think too much with this deck. Just dig into your Astral Communion as soon as possible, then hopefully your top decks will get you there. There are matchups where your opponent can very easily grind you out, especially if you don't manage to kill them quickly enough, but that's just the nature of a scam deck like this. So if you guys like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends, and until next time, toodles.